Hi there, Jen Grice from jengrice.com. I am a Christian divorce mentor and boundary coach. I help women to reclaim life after divorce. And that's again what we're talking about today. It's a series here on YouTube about reclaiming your life after divorce, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and some other things I have planned. So today I'm going to talk about reclaiming your financial stability or your finances after divorce. That is really all about budget and independence. We've been used to having financial stability through a husband or being used to a two-income household, and now that changes with a divorce. But it is a part of divorce, and I think we can reclaim that situation as well. So personally, while I was married, I had kind of gone through the Dave Ramsey program on my own. Read all of his books and looked on his website and did as much learning as I can about his strategies. And that really helped me to make it through financially through my divorce. I wasn't willing to get into debt, any more debt, to a divorce or to survive after divorce. And part of the Dave Ramsey program is to make sure you have an emergency fund. I had an emergency fund, and I had to use it to buy groceries and to pay my phone bill. Basically, those were what were required of me during the divorce. And so I had to, because I didn't have a job, I had to tap into emergency funds to pay the bills. By having an emergency fund, you are better able to not rely on other people for help. I personally don't have any family that I can rely on, so having an emergency fund and being financially stable for when emergencies come and things happen is my only option. Then once I was divorced, I decided that was the most important thing that I need to work on, is to pay the bills, that the minimum that I had to pay, and to get my emergency fund back up. Another thing I suggest is that you get a detailed budget, including income and expenses, written down somewhere on a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, whatever you need to do to figure out how much money you have coming in, how much money is going out. And the money that is going out should be only to necessities, especially during and shortly after the divorce. It can be so easy to want to compete financially with your ex, or to keep up with looking good, keep up the same lifestyle. But unfortunately, most women coming out of divorce don't have the same lifestyle that they had during divorce. But that doesn't mean that we still can't reclaim our financial stability and become stronger because of it. One way to do that is to get side jobs. The new buzzword now is side hustle, and to get a couple side hustle jobs, whether it's babysitting, tutoring, teaching piano in your home, helping people do taxes. There's a wide array of jobs that you could take part-time or work from home that you can bring in extra income, either as your primary source of income or to supplement during this time. Personally, I have survived by being a consultant for bloggers and some other businesses, and it has helped to bring income into my home when I still needed to stay home to homeschool. And once you get your budget in order with your income and expenses, and you maybe have a couple side hustles where you're bringing in some extra money, that would be the time to pay down any debt that you have. Hopefully you don't have a lot of debt coming out of your marriage, but I know some do. And so your first goal should be to pay off the debt. Obviously, Dave Ramsey's programs are about becoming debt-free, and I really believe in that philosophy. The Bible talks about being slaves to your lender, and so if you owe people money, whether it's for cars or credit cards or anything like that, you are a slave to them first. And so you really want to get rid of any debt that you have, and so that your only expenses are your rent and roof over your head. I suggest that women coming out of divorce do not go out and buy another house or car. personally, I think this is the time that you really need to start saving money and planning for the future, working on the independence so that when you do want to buy the house, you have a huge down payment that you can put on the house so that you're not slave to a mortgage as well. And I believe that borrowing money from your parents after 40 years old is really just unnecessary. We can learn to take care of ourselves and support our family on our own and be independent of anybody. Some of the tricks that I like to use and I have shared in the past about how to be financially stable after divorce is that certain times a year, like, income tax time, we might have a little more income. And instead of taking that money and spending it on going out to eat and having a good time or taking a vacation, I do what's called pay ahead. I take the money and decide what are the most important bills that I can pay for the next couple months, 6 months, and sometimes a year. I will pay my car insurance for the whole entire year so that it's taken care of, and it's one less bill I have to take care of every month. And it helps me to, and like we talked about before, reclaim peace. It helps me to be at peace that my bills are paid and taken care of. And if something were to happen where I didn't have an income, that I could make it for several months and I wouldn't have to rely on anybody else. And that's why it's so important to be independent and to have your finances in order. Yes, it's very hard to depend on other people or to go through a bankruptcy situation, but it doesn't have to happen. You don't have to keep up with everybody else. Your kids don't have to have the nicest shoes or the nicest clothes. You can shop at Goodwill, and Walmart, and wherever else you can find a good sale or a good deal. And you can reclaim your finances and not be a slave to them. So if there's anything that you can think of that I missed, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. How are you reclaiming your financial stability after divorce? How are you getting your life back? And what tips do you have to share with others? And lastly, be on the lookout for a book that I have coming out soon, Divorce Survival Guide, a Christian women's guide to embracing life after divorce. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video.